Good morning. Today we will discuss about Oracle application cloning. Okay, so the things are why do we need to clone? So what is cloning? The frequency of cloning and all this. Okay. So first of all, what is
Mm-hmm.
clone? Okay. So first, at the very first point, we will discuss like what is cloning. Okay. So the cloning. So in general, what is the meaning of clone? Cloning is nothing but copy. Cloning is nothing but a
Yeah.
copy, exactly. So cloning is nothing but it is creating an identical copy of the existing Oracle application system. So the system to be cloned is referred as the source system, and a newly created system is referred to as the target system. Are you getting the point or not? So the
Yeah.
clone, yeah, the system to be cloned. It means if you are cloning Oracle application prod, okay, so that is referred as the source system, and the newly created system is referred to as the target system. It might be dev, test, UX, test, whatever it is. Okay, so that is nothing but the cloning. So why do we need to clone? First of all, so we are discussing about cloning, what is cloning and all these things. But why do we need to clone?
Maybe some testing purpose for the developers.
Yes, exactly. And not only this purpose, there are a couple of things like what why we have to clone. Okay, so there are, see, in companies what they will do is in real time, like they won't perform any testing, or they won't apply any patches directly on the prod system, or else they won't execute data fixes directly in the prod system, because if
Right.
they do that directly in the prod system, okay, instead of bringing the positive impacts, so it might also bring the negative impact. Okay, so we are not sure if we haven't done it once. Okay, so we are not sure what the patch is going to do. Okay, so for this purpose, so first we will apply the changes in the non-production instances. Okay, so basically the levels will be like this: stress, dev, UAT, stress, dev, test, UAT, and prod. Okay, so these things might be different based on companies, but there'll be some strategy for this. Like first, they'll apply the fixes or the patches on the stress. If it is going to be successful in the stress, and if it is not causing any negative impact in the stress, they're going to move the same patches or the data fixes to the dev. Okay, so once if it is good enough in the dev, they are moving to test. Once if it is good enough in test, UAT, and if it is good enough in UAT, and if there is no issue noticed till UAT, so they will be moving it to the prod. Okay, so to test the same patch on these environments, you need to contain these instances need to contain the same data which will be existing in the prod, which exists in the prod. Okay, so directly if I install one Oracle application, I'll apply patch in that. If it is going to be successful, I cannot directly take it to the prod machine, right? So I need to see the non-production instances need to contain the data which the prod contains. Okay, so for this purpose, so we will clone. Okay, we will clone from production to non-production instances. Okay, so moreover, developers cannot develop any code on the newly machine, sorry, in the production machine. Okay, so they need one system which exactly contains the same data as of production. So which they need to access it. Okay, so and moreover there will be some testings for what they have developed. Okay, so that cannot be done directly on the production, so that will be done on the test instance. So all this data, so all these instances must contain the same data which the prod contains. Okay, so the prod instance is the where which we contain the business actual business data. So we cannot it is very sensitive data which contains in the prod. Okay, we cannot directly make some R&D on the prod instances. So for this purpose, what we will do is we will clone from production to non-production instances. So once the issue or data fix is good enough in the non-production instances, we will move it to the prod. Okay, so these are
Yeah,
called as
sure.
iterations. These are called as iterations. So first iteration, second iteration, third, fourth, and the fifth one is go live, we call. Okay. So that is the reason why we will be doing cloning. Okay. So the cloning is nothing but it is the exact replica of the existing one, which contains, see, exact replica means whatever the data which is there in one machine, the other machine should also contain the same data. Okay, so cloning is nothing but copying all the, how do you copy? So if you see like uh, if you copy from source machine to the target machine, and if you start the target machine, is it going to work? That is not the procedure, right? So there are some strategies and there
No,
are some methods what we have to follow. Okay, so that is what we are going
okay,
to learn in cloning phase. Okay,
yeah,
next, frequency of cloning. So frequency of cloning depends on customer requirement. Okay, so in general, for every 1 week uh, or for once in 10 days, we will be cloning from production. And some, there will be some customers like in our environment we are following a clone for every 1 year. Okay, once in a year. Okay, so it depends on environment to environment, so it completely depends on the client requirement. So if he is asking us to clone every 15 days, we have to clone. If he is asking us to clone every 3 months, we have to clone, like that. Okay, so it depends on the environment. Next, we are advantages of cloning. So creating a copy of production system for patch testing. So as we already discussed, so the patches we cannot directly apply in the production instance. So the patch might also bring negative impact. Okay. So if it is a new patch, so if it is not thoroughly tested, okay. So one more thing is one-off patches are not tested by Oracle. Okay. So one-off patches are not tested by Oracle. So most of the times, like one-off patches will be causing the issue. So if you apply any one-off patch, so if it is going to make any object invalid, then the associated functionalities which are related to the object are not going to work fine, are not going to work properly, which might cause an issue. So for this purpose, so uh, this will be very useful for patch testing. Okay, so creating a stage area to reduce the downtime required for patching. So it is same related to patching. Like we have to collect the number of patches what we are gonna apply, and we can actually understand like how much time does the patch require, how much downtime the patch require. Okay, so once, see, like Oracle will give you the size, Oracle will give you what are the files it contains, but it is not going to tell you how much downtime the patch requires, right? So at this point of time, you have to, so you cannot directly ask for client that I need 5 hours of downtime for prod machine, right? So you have to test it. So first you have to test it and stress how much time it is taking. You at how much time it is taking. Test how much time it is taking. So based on all these things, you can understand. So how much time does prod patching requires, and you can ask that particular time for client. Refreshing a test system from a production system. So refreshing a test system from a production system means, so let us assume today you have cloned. Okay. So after 6 months, so whatever the data you are having in the prod, so will you have it in non-production instance? You won't contain, right? So at this point of time, the cloning might be helpful. So you can refresh the data from production to non-production instances. So moving an existing system to a different machine or platform, that case is different again. Okay. So with the help of cloning only, we can move one existing Oracle applications to the other machine or other platform, whatever. Moreover, with the help of cloning only, we can add one extra node to your existing installation. So let us assume this, like see, like advantages of the cloning, in the sense these advantages are not only for cloning. So we will be having one utility for cloning, so that is ADCFG clone. So we are talking some uses of that also. Okay. So cloning is used to add node for existing installation. By default, your Oracle application came, let us assume you have installed your Oracle application in 5 nodes. Okay, after some days, if you want to install your Oracle application, you just want to extend your Oracle applications to one more node. At this point of time, your cloning will be helpful. Okay.
Santosh, if you are using the shared software, so what is that one
Shared
concept is
Apple
there,
top.
no?
Shared
Shared
Apple.
Apple top.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. In that scenario also, if you are adding a node, Okay,
Yes.
so we need to install the, means as you said, one clone is one option, right? So
Yes.
we need to use that, or how it will be in that scenario?
That will be different. Like I will share you that document. No, moreover, I'll teach you. You don't need to worry about
Okay,
how
okay,
to
sure.
add existing node to add a new node to existing installation. Right?
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I will show that.
Okay.
Next, cloning tools and related information. So rapid clone is a tool using which we will clone Oracle applications. Okay. So what is the utility name called as rapid clone? So rapid clone is nothing but ADCFG clone. Okay. So it was introduced from 11.5.8 Oracle application version. So prior to 11.5.8 it is not having. So rapid clone completely supports cold backup. Okay. So as I already discussed with you, there are three ways, right? There are three ways to clone a database. Okay. I
Yeah.
mean like Oracle applications like cold, hot and Arman. Okay. So your rapid clone utility will support your cloning, your 100% cloning when you have taken the backup using cold cloning. Okay. Are you getting? So if you clone your database using cold backup method, then only your rapid clone is going to support the entire cloning. If not, it is going to support partially. Okay. I will tell you what is the difference between completely supporting cold backup and partially supporting Arman backup and hot backup. Okay.
So your application will be done in rapid clone?
See, with the help of rapid clone, you will clone your Oracle applications. Okay. So
Uh-huh.
application down depends on the backup what you do. See, applications can be either up or can be neither down because they are just
Okay,
normal files, physical files, right?
okay. Yeah,
The
yeah.
entire
Okay.
applications is nothing but it is an ample of like physical files. It is a collection of physical files. That's it. So if your
Okay.
applications are up and running or if your applications are down, it doesn't impact your cloning. Okay. So coming to the
Okay. Okay.
database. So if you are going to copy when the database is up and running, it is hot or warm and water. Like if you are going to shut down the application, shut down the database, and if you are going to copy, then it is cold. So if you perform cold backup, if you perform cold backup cloning, then only your rapid clone is going to support. Or else you have to do some manual steps. Okay, there will be some manual steps. So with the help of rapid clone, we can perform cloning. Okay, so which supports uh, which completely supports when your method is cold backup, and it does not support your rapid clone does not support Arman backups and hot backups. So there at this point of time we have to do little bit manual steps. So couple of manual steps.
Okay.
And next, so if you use rapid clone to add a node, okay, so as I already said, so cloning is used to add a node to existing installation, right? At this point of time, I came across one
Yeah.
point, like cloning is nothing but I am discussing about the related tools ADCFG clone. So here is the one, okay. So if we use ADC rapid clone to add a node, a new row is inserted into fnd underscore nodes. Whereas when creating a new installation, okay, it means when creating a new cold copy, new clone copy. So fnd underscore nodes is purged and a completely new set of rows are inserted. Did you got the point? So with the help of rapid clone, you can do two things. Either you can perform cloning or else you can add a node to the existing installation. So if you are adding node to the existing installation, a new row will get updated in fnd nodes. Whereas if you are cloning, the existing information will get purged and new information will be inserted. Okay.
So it is in destination only, na?
Yes, it is in destination only.
Okay.
If you if production fnd nodes table is purged and new rows are inserted, is there any meaning? No, right? So it will get,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, if you clone from,
Okay.
see, like let us assume your host name is abc.com, so abc.123.com. Okay, so if you clone that, what happens to your non-production instance? The same host name will be available in fnd nodes, right? Because you are just copying the data. So abc.123.com will be available in your target node only. So at this point of time, you have to change the data in the target machine, right? Are you getting or not?
Yeah, tell me, Sanjay, what is that?
At this point of time, like, see, if you're just copying the data from production to non-production, from source to target, what does it mean? The same data will get existed in the
Target.
target machine only, right? At this point of time,
Yeah.
so if same information related to nodes is containing in the non-production in the target machine, what happens? It might cause
Yeah,
some
it will
issues.
be the same.
Sometimes
Yeah,
your
yeah, it will be the
applications might not start. So
correct.
what you have to do is you have to change the data. So accordingly, you have to change the data accordingly. So you have to update it with the target machine information. Okay.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
we don't do it
Right.
manually. So there are a couple of scripts what we have to run. So once we run them, everything is it is going to take care of everything. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So what is rapid clone and how to check if your environment is enabled with rapid clone? So if your environment is auto config enabled, it means if you are able to run auto config in your environment, so you can confirm that rapid clone is enabled in your environment. Okay.
How to check that auto config is enabled?
Auto config like AD auto cfg.sh, these if these scripts are available, then you can confirm auto config is available.
Okay.
Moreover, you will be
Santosh,
running, right. Moreover, one important thing is if inst top is there, auto config is enabled. That's it.
Okay. INST top is there, auto config will be there most of the case.
Not most of the cases, like 100% cases. If auto config is not enabled,
Okay. Okay.
then there is no inst top.
Okay.
Okay.
Santosh, a small question here.
Yeah.
So, if I do, complete, snapshot of OS, okay, and I'll have a complete snapshot of OS, and I'll do the configuration changes in autoconfig, and I'll run the autoconfig file. Okay, will it work?
I didn't catch you, Islam. What are you going to
Okay.
do? Tell me.
So see, I have my Oracle apps running on one machine.
Okay.
Okay, it has complete database, EBS, and uh, and application server as well. Okay, so I do a snapshot. I mean it's a copy of
From other utility. Utility.
just OS utility. I do a copy of the complete OS. Okay,
Okay.
and I put it in one system, and I'll do the configuration changes using the auto config, and I'll run it. Okay, I'll run the auto config, and I'll try to run the application. Will it work in our case?
Most of the times, like, see, it is going to work because that is what we do in our normal systems, right?
Hmm.
If it is same machine, it is going to work.
No, it's not the same machine. It's different
If
machine,
it is
and
different machine, then you have to execute. Apart from auto config, you have to execute couple of scripts, and before copying only, you have to run couple of scripts in the source machine. So this is also going to work. There is no issue, but there are some scripts what you have to execute. There are some pre-cloned scripts. Okay, once if you execute them, and again if you after copying if you do this, like it is going to work, like running auto config and executing adcfg clone. See, directly if you execute auto config, it is not going to work.
mm-hmm.
Okay, so you
Okay.
have to
So
do
there are pre steps and post steps. So is what you mean
because
to say? Pre step,
yeah, there will
copying,
be some
running auto
pre-clone steps and
config,
there will
and
be some
running the
post-clone steps.
okay.
Okay, so because like your auto config is not going to update the existing information in your database level tables, couple of database level tables. It is not going to purge the old information. Okay, so at
Mm-hmm.
this
Okay.
so for this purpose, like you have to run some scripts. So after running that script, if you run auto config, they will get modified, the database level table.
Okay.
We will see that.
Okay. Okay, Santosh.
So what are the different options for cloning? So you can clone from single node to single node. Okay, you can clone from multi-node to multi-node, single node to multi-node, and multi-node to single node. This is how we can clone. Okay, so single node to multi-node is nothing but adding a new node to the existing applications. Okay, and multi-node to single node is nothing but, see, if your production is in multiple node Oracle application, you can't afford. Some people can't afford multiple nodes for all the non-production instances, right? So for that purpose, they will be going with multi-node to single node. Okay, so these are all the different options which are available for cloning.
So I think most of the time we'll use multi-node to single node, na? So as you said,
It doesn't like, it is not dependent over there. Yet we will use that configuration. Yes, like most of the time,
okay,
not most of the time.
okay,
There are chances, and it depends on the environment. Yes.
right, right.
Next, cloning across platforms. So if you want to, yes, if you want to clone from one operating system to another operating system, then it has to be bit supportable. It means, so if you cannot clone from 32-bit to 64-bit operating systems. So see, like most of the times cloning takes place between same operating system versions with same binary compatible. So that is general in general. So most of the people will clone from 32-bit to 32-bit, same of Linux to Linux, like that. So here what you have to know is rapid clone also supports cloning between different bit versions of same operating systems. So you can clone from Linux 32-bit operating system to Linux 64-bit operating systems. Okay, so that is uh, you can do. So rapid clone also supports if the source system is running an earlier version of the same operating system that is being used on the target system. It means if your source system is Linux 5.4, so if your target machine is Linux 5.6, then your rapid clone is going to work. Okay, that kind of architecture also your rapid clone supports. But rapid clone does not support cloning from highest version of an operating system to a lowest version. Okay, are you getting? So if your source machine is on Linux 6, your target machine is on Linux 5, then your rapid clone will not be supported. So this is case, like, so we have to consider it as a case, not a condition, like not mandatorily it is not going to work.
Santosh, rapid clone can be used, no, when you use rapid clone, is it will clone along with the application and database both?
Come again. Rapid clone.
See, yeah, rapid clone. When you use rapid clone for cloning purpose, is it for only application tier or even database tier also we can do?
One time we have to do it for application tier, and one time we have to do it for database tier. For both types you have to do it.
Yeah, because see, if you talk about database, so I have a doubt that the different bit version. If it is 32-bit, the present source is 32 and destination target is 64. So easily will support that database level.
Yeah, it will support. Source is 32 and target is,
64 or vice versa, whatever it may be, 64 to 32 or 32 to
see,
64.
that is what I have written. Right? So rapid clone also supports cloning between different bit versions of same operating system.
Okay, okay. No, no, this database level, no, I got a doubt, so that's the reason I asked that.
Okay, database level we have to check again. Uh, because if it is
So
application, no, so it is general files. It is a general files kind of thing.
Mhm.
when it is supporting here, I'm sure it will support the in 32 to 64 or vice versa. Yeah. So when we say
That
cloning,
is for
we are doing.
database you are talking, right, Aslam?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But how rapid clone will know how to it will do clone? How it will do?
Yeah, that will come. That is what important thing is.
Yeah.
So now we are seeing the high level steps for cloning. So high level steps means like top level steps. So first, first perform three health checks. Okay, so three health check is mandatory for every task you perform. Basically, if it is a important and maintenance kind of activity, A pre-health check is mandatory for you. Okay. So after performing
Okay.
pre-health checks, you have to prepare the source system.
Mm-hmm.
You have to prepare the source system. What is preparing source system? So I will tell you what this will do, but just this is the high level step. Okay.
Okay.
Prepare database tier first. Okay. Prepare database tier by running ad preclone.perl. Next, prepare application tier by running ad preclone.perl in application tier. Okay. So what are you doing? You are just running ad preclone.perl in where database tier and then ad preclone.perl in application tier. You can run it parallelly, no issues. It will take not more than 10 minutes. Okay. Next, copy source system to target system. Okay. So what are you copying? Copy Apple top, common top, INST top, 10.1 to 10.13 Oracle home. Okay. And then copy RDBMS Oracle home and CRD files to target system. So apart from these things, so are there any other things in your Oracle applications apart from these things?
Oracle. No, so no, Santosh, I think.
No, right? So
I
these are the important things which contain everything, every file related to your Oracle application and database. Okay. So coming to a database, you will be seeing CRD files and RDBMS Oracle home. These two are very important.
CID. CID, what does it mean?
Control readlog data
control.
files.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay.
Okay. So data file related files.
Yeah. Yes. And next, copy Apple top, common top, INST top, 10.1 to 10.13 Oracle hosts to the target machine. So here there is a note.
Okay.
In case of cold backups, we need to shut down and copy. In case of hard backup, keep database in begin backup mode and copy. Okay, that
Right.
is the difference what you see. Next, if it is RMAN, you know what the step has to be. Next, prepare target system. So configure database tab by running adcfg-clone.perl and configure application tab by running adcfg-clone.perl. Next, perform health checks in target system. Okay, are there any uh, complex steps involved over here?
No, no, free check, copy the things and post check and do the L check one more time.
Yes,
Post
here
L
we
check.
have to add one more thing. So you have to perform post clone steps. Okay. So before post health checks, there will be post clone steps. Okay.
Okay.
So see like if your production in your production there is a DB link. Okay, which is pointing to another production database. Let us assume we are having two production databases. Okay.
Right, right.
Yes. So in one database, one DB link is pointing to another production database. So if you
Hmm.
copy, okay, if you copy your database and your applications to the other machine, what happens? The same DB link will be existing in the copied node
Hmm.
also, in the target node also. At this point of time, you have to remove the DB link information, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. So
So
that is these kind of steps are called as post clone steps. Yes.
okay, okay.
Yes, Aslam.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
I will try to remember one case where in one of the environment they use cloning, database cloning through some other tool. Okay, BCB refresh. So
Okay.
what that person done after cloning, he forgot to drop the DB links in the destination,
Yeah.
in the
Okay.
target.
Okay.
So they given for the developers for the testing purpose, and unfortunately they removed most of the tables in production.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So and no, those are all the master tables by luckily, and we have a backup of some of the master. Somehow they managed. So we should be very careful when you do cloning these kind of stuff. Make sure to drop the DB links,
DB links. Yes.
especially.
Yes. So most of the time there will be production will be pointing to production stuff only.
Right, right.
Yeah. So these are the high level steps for your cloning. So uh, what you are doing over here, first you are performing health check. That is a common start. You are running ad preclone.perl and ad preclone.perl in source systems, and you are copying to the target machine, and then you are running adcfg clone and then performing post clone steps and then performing post health checks. Okay? So this is what we have to do. We are doing. Okay. So see
Okay.
Prakash, like dropping DB link is not the only thing what we have to do. So there are other things what we have to do, like creating DBA directories. There are lot many steps what we have to do. We will see that.
Yeah, sure.
So next, what is AD preclone.perl? So when we run AD preclone.perl in database tier, so it will collect all information about the database tier and perform below actions. See, in general, AD preclone, if you are running AD preclone.perl, you can understand what it is doing with this step. Okay. So we will only execute AD preclone.perl. Apart from that, nothing we will do in the target machine. Okay. Source machine, I mean. When we run AD preclone.perl in database tab. So here what we are doing, we are running AD preclone, right? Are you guys able to understand? So you have to ask me why. Yes, you have to ask me why why you are running AD preclone.perl over here. So that is the answer is over here. Why, what is AD preclone.perl and why we are running? So when we run AD preclone.perl in database tier, it will collect all information about database tier and perform below actions. So what it is doing, it is creating staged clone area at Oracle Home Absolute clone. So just make sure it is, just understand it is database. So what it is doing, it is creating staged area under staged clone area at Oracle Home Absolute clone. So under this directory, it will create some files. Okay, under Absolute Oracle Home Absolute directory. So it will create three directories mainly. It will create clone, template, and drivers directory. Okay. So it will create template files at template directory. It creates driver files at driver directory. So these files will be used when the system is copied to destination. Okay. So it is
What is the purpose of
yeah, just listen.
Santosh?
Yeah.
Now this clone template and drivers, it will create some information. It will store some information, right? So what is the useful of that?
So these template and driver files will be helpful for your autoconfig or for your ADCFG clone while running.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what it is doing, it is converting inventory from binary to XML. So what is inventory?
It will contain the information about the software
Software,
related
installed software, right? So
software. Yeah.
yes. So in your system, it will be in binary format. So first, it will convert your thing to XML format, and it will create database control file script. So these are the things what your AD preclone is doing. You are not doing anything over here. Okay. So it is creating
Okay.
database
This
control file
part
script. It will generate database creation driver file and it will copy JDBC libraries. Okay. So when we run AD preclone in application tier, it will collect all information about application tier and perform below action. So what it is doing, your AD preclone.perl in application tier. So here under comment of clone. So when we are discussing about file system, about comment of and there is a clone directory. So we discussed that this clone directory will be useful when we are going for cloning, right?
Santosh, a small question here. It says, copy JDBC libraries. Where is it going to copy?
It is going to Oracle Home Apps Util. So in couple of directories. Okay.
Oracle Home Apps Util?
Oracle Home Apps Util. So these three are not only the directories which it will get created. These three are the important directories, and there will be some other directory stuff which it is going to create.
Okay.
So
So it will create
why
many
it is doing
directories.
all these things we will see. So this is all related to database. Okay. So when you run AD preclone.perl in database, so it is doing these kind of stuff. So it is creating directories and it is copying and it is converting inventory from binary to XML and all this. And next, if you are running AD preclone.perl in application tier, okay, if you are running AD preclone.perl in application tier, so it is going to create a clone stage area at comment of clone. So it will create template files and driver files for 10.1 to Oracle Home. You create template files and driver files for 10.1 to Oracle Home. It copy JDBC libraries. In addition, there are number of associated actions relating to database. Okay.
So when we say template file, it will be like, uh, it will have the information about all the required database level or
Yes,
application
yes,
level, right?
yes. See, whatever the information it needs, it will collect. Whatever the information your ADCFG clone needs, it will collect. Your AD free clone needs, it will collect.
Okay.
So you are just running the script, that's it. Everything it is going to
Yeah.
take care.
Right.
So it will show you if it is successful or not at last.
Okay. So you do whatever may be the frequency, but always we need to run this, AD preclone.pl every time.
Yes, then only the modified data will get
Okay,
updated.
correct, right. The today's data cannot be the same tomorrow, no?
Yes.
So we need to run every time.
So if I run it twice, Santosh, is it
No
going to
issue.
replace?
Yes, it is going to replace the existing one. You don't face any.
Uh,
You can
uh,
run it any number of times.
okay,
AD clone or AD preclone.pl, you can run any number. You can run them for any number of
okay,
note. We can run the preclone script when applications are up and running. So these two scripts doesn't require any downtime. So these two
Okay.
scripts are not going to modify any file. Okay, they are only going to collect the information and place it in the necessary directory. Okay, so we can run it. There is no sequence to run AD preclone.pl. You can run it first on applications, or you can run it first on databases. Whatever it is, there is no sequence for it.
Both are independent.
Both are independent. They are only collecting the information. Okay, so
Right.
we have completed till here, right? So
Yeah.
after this, you have to copy using recipe. So basically, you will copy apple top, common top, inst top, 10.1 to 10.1. You will zip each and every directory. Okay, you will zip apple top. You will tar a common top. You will tar inst top, and you will copy over there. So RDBMS Oracle Home also you will tar. Coming to CRD, it depends on the type of cloning you are going for. If it is cold, you will
Right.
just that thing is different. I mean. So and after copying, what you are doing, you are running AD clone dot Perl. So what this ADCFG clone dot Perl is doing, what it is gonna do?
This rapid clone is that only.
Yes, your
Santosh?
rapid clone is nothing but your ADCFG clone dot Perl. Okay,
So it's a Perl script, right?
it's the Perl script. So what is ADCFG clone dot Perl? Okay, so what it is going to do after you copy your file system to the target machine. Okay, so this script will perform clone configuration in the target machine. Okay, so ADCFG clone.perl is nothing but the rapid clone. Okay, we call it as rapid clone utility. Okay, the script will perform the clone configuration in the target database. So whatever the files it has to configure. See, like cloning is nothing but you're just copying, but uh, it has to look like a new thing, right? So are you getting the point or not? So if you're cloning something, it should not look like a old one. It should look like something new. Okay. So at this point of time, so something should be there to modify all these configuration level files. Okay. So this your ADCG clone.perl is going to take care of it. Okay. So see, during this configuration phase, okay, ADCFG clone.perl will reconfigure the copied instance after gathering the required information. Reconfigure the copied instance means you are just copying as of now. So it has to configure something, right? So it will your ADCFG clone will copy and it will gather the required information from where it will gather the required information
from the system and from our
from these locations,
uh,
from these places. When you are running AD clone, it is collecting some information and it is keeping out there, right?
Yeah.
So
AD
from this
preclone.
place, yeah, from this place, your ADCFG clone.perl is coming and it is going to take the data. Okay,
Information. Okay.
yeah. So first, see, no there is no sequence to run AD pre-clone. See, you can understand pre-clone is nothing but pre-clone. It is you are the script which are running pre-clone. Okay. So ADCFG clone is nothing but this is the script which you are running after clone. Okay. So for running AD preclone.perl, there is no sequence. Okay, you can run it either anyway. You can run it directly on applications, or you can run it directly on the database, whatever it is. But coming to ADCFG clone.perl, so first you have to run ADCFG clone.perl in the database type. Okay, after running it in the database tier, then only you have to run it in the application tier. Then only it is going to work. So directly if you run it in the application tier and it is not going to work. Okay, even though if it might be successful, but that is not correct procedure and it is not going to bring you the
Not
correct
recommended.
result. Yes, not recommended. So while running AD preclone.perl, so it might ask you for a couple of questions, or it might not ask. But coming to AD CFG clone.perl, it will ask you for multiple questions. Okay, it will ask you for multiple questions like what is the name of the database what you want to keep in the target machine. So what is the name of the what is the host name of your target machine? What port you want to keep in the target machine? What would be your database files location and all these things. Okay, so you have to prompt correctly and you have to give the correct information. Okay, so I will tell you there is like one more method called as backup context file. So I will tell you that also, just give me some time. So we are not going to till there as of now. So what is adcfg clone.perl we have seen. So it is going to reconfigure the target machine. So once after copying the source machine to the target node. Okay. So first you have to run adcfg clone on the database side and then you have to run it in the application side. Okay. So when you are running adcfg clone.perl in the database there, what it is going to do? Okay, it is creating a database context file. So first point what it is going to do. So just listen carefully.
Yeah.
You are running adcfg clone.perl. So what it is doing, it will ask
It
for
is
some
getting the
questions.
information from the directories and it is going to make changes.
Yes, it is also going to ask us some questions, right?
Okay.
So based on
Right.
the answers what we have given, let us assume it will ask for, I'll show you that also. See, Perl adcfg clone.perl dbtr. Okay, what it is asking for? It is asking for target system hostname. It is asking whether rack is enabled or not. It is asking for SID. It is asking for what base directory. It is asking for util file directory. It is asking for number of data tops. It is asking, these are all the information what it is asking, isn't it or not? It is asking for target system port pool, display to enable display or not. Do you want to port values in the source system? All these things it is asking. Based on the values you have given, okay, based on the values you have given, it is going to create the database context file. Okay, it is going to create what? The database
Context.
context file. Next, it is going to register the Oracle home in the global inventory. What is global inventory? Global inventory is the one which contains the information about the installed software in your Oracle, sorry, in your Linux machine, in your machine, isn't it or not? So the global inventory is a place from where you can come to know how many softwares have been installed in your physical machine. Okay, so as the current Oracle applications is the copied one, so your global inventory doesn't contain the copied Oracle home information in the inventory. So what your adcfg clone.perl is going to do is it is registering the Oracle home in global inventory. So what are the Oracle homes for database there? 11.203 Oracle home, right? It is going to register 11.203 Oracle home in the global inventory. Next, it is relinking the Oracle home. What is relinking the Oracle home? What does relinking Oracle home mean?
Uh, relink in the sense it will create the replica of the no no
Relinking.
no.
So once the global entry is made, the new Oracle home is what it will.
Relink. See, if
Yeah.
in any software, okay, if something is corrupted or something, so we can relink, which one has been corrupted.
Exactly. If anything got corrupted while copying. Moreover, if you copy the executables from 32-bit to 64-bit operating system, what happens? The
Mhm.
existing executables are not going to work in your Oracle home. So that is the reason why it will relink your Oracle home. Okay. And after that, it will
Mhm.
configure the Oracle home. It means it will try to generate all the, the meaning of configuring, right? Just try to make sure configuring is nothing but like what like prepare. It is preparing the Oracle home. This is the final stage for your Oracle home. Okay, and then it recreates the database control files. So what are the important things to make the database start up? The first one is SP file or P file, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So at this configure the Oracle home. Okay, if configuring the Oracle home, your SP file or P file will get changed to the necessary values. So internally, one more thing what you have to notice. So your adcfg clone.perl is there, right? The script what you are running. Your adcfg clone.perl is going to run autoconfig internally. Okay, it will internally call autoconfig. So once the database context file has been created with the new values, so it will internally run the autoconfig also. So which will help change your P files and SP files, TNS files, modify the existing data with the new data. Are you getting? So if you are copying or
Yes,
just
Santosh,
listen.
very, yeah, it has to be run in source, adcfg clone.pl.
No, you have to run it in target. You have to run it in the copied machine.
Okay, once after we copying, we need to run.
Yes, you have to run it in the target machine.
Uh-huh.
But
So because that see, I have a source and destination. Okay, I will copy all the required files from source to destination. Okay, then I will start to run the adcfg clone.pl.
yes, you
Right.
should never run this in target machine. Sorry, source machine.
Yeah, yeah.
So what it is doing? See, when it is like where am I actually? When it is creating the database context file with the new values. I said right, so it will create the database context file with the new values. So once it got created
Mhm.
with the new values, it will internally call autoconfig to run. So once you run autoconfig, it is your autoconfig is gonna modify the values in the configuration files with source
Right,
machine
right. See,
information to
because
the
yeah,
target
we
machine
pass
information.
some of the values.
Yes.
Accordingly, it will create a context file. Then
Yes.
it will run the autoconfig, and it will changes all the required files in the destination.
Yes. So once if you are having your SP file, you can take the database to the which stage?
No mount.
Yes, no mount stage. From no mount stage to mount stage, what requires? It requires a control file.
Control.
Okay. So it will recreate the database control file at this stage. Okay. After recreating the database control file, it will start the database. So it will configure the database and it will start the database listener. Are you getting? So this is what your adcfg clone.perl is going to do. Okay. So
Okay.
if you just listen carefully, if you this is only for your code backup. This is only coming to picture only for your code backup. So your adcfg clone.perl is not completely, it does not completely support your hard backup or armand backup.
Hardware.
Okay. So with the help of your you have to run your you have to do couple of changes again. So I will show that what how come it will be different to cold backup and hot backup. What is the difference between cold backup and hot backup? So as of now, this is
Okay.
only like what ADCFG clone.perl will do. Okay. Next
Okay.
on application tier. So on application tier, what it is going to do? So it is going to when we run ADCFG clone.perl in application tier, then also it is going to ask for some values, right? So once
Yeah,
we
some
have
of the
given some
parameter, and it will
yes,
create the context file.
yes. So it is going to create the context file. It is going to register your applications is also having 10.12 and 10.13. So it is going to register 10.12, 10.13 Oracle homes in global inventory. So it is going to relink the Oracle application Oracle home. Are getting it is going so on application tier. It is going to create the context file and it is going to register the 10.12 and 10.13 Oracle homes in the global inventory and it is going to relink. So whatever it has done for the Oracle normal Oracle RDBMS Oracle home, it is going to do the same thing for 10.1 to 10.13 Oracle homes. So it is going to relink.
Yeah.
It is going to configure Oracle homes. Once the Oracle home part is done, it is going to configure the Apple top. Okay. So after configuring the app, configuring is nothing but preparing everything. That's it. Okay. So and it is going to create a INS setup by running autoconfig. So here INS setup is there, right? Creating the INS setup by running autoconfig. So you can skip copying INS setup actually. Okay, INS setup is not mandatory to copy from source machine to target machine because your INS setup contains all configuration files. Okay, all configuration files will be available in INS setup. Once you copy the machine from source to target, the configuration, the source machine configuration is nowhere required in the target machine. So that is the reason. So your copying INS setup is not mandatory. Okay. So even if you copy the INS setup from source to target machine, it is of no use.
It
So
will
once if
work.
you run autoconfig, each and every file in INS setup is going to regenerate. Are you getting? So once if you run
Yeah.
autoconfig, each and every file in INS setup is going to recreate. And after that, it is going to start application entire server first. Okay. So what it is doing after that, it is
So
going to start application service.
application. Okay. So all things it will take care.
Yes, all things.
Stopping, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, starting, changes the configuration
Yes.
file, everything.
So that is the reason why I have said your ADCFG clone.file is going to support cold backup completely, completely only for cold backup. So we will discuss like how do we will clone using cold cloning, how do we will clone using hard cloning, and how do we clone using Arman cloning. So these three methods we will discuss, but while talking, we will while practical, we will only go for cold cloning. So now we will be seeing various methods for cloning. So the first one would be cold cloning, hot cloning, and armament based cloning. So let us assume these are our machines like cold cloning, source machine, and target machine. So we are going to change accordingly. So that is just a sample. Like perform the below steps. Okay. See, for the first time, if you are sourcing your machine for the first time, okay, there are a couple of prerequisite steps what you have to follow. Okay. So directly. uh, See, the rapid clone utility comes from 11.5.8 or 11.5.10 version onwards. But the thing is, so it has many performance enhancements uh, for the further versions. Like coming to 11.10, it has little bit enhancements. For 12.0, it has some more enhancements. For 12.1, it has little bit again enhancements for the rapid clone utility. But to enhance little bit more. So currently the version of Oracle applications what we are using is 12.11. Okay. To enhance the rapid clone utility, we will be applying the patches, the below patches. Okay? So moreover, we have to verify operating system requirements on the target machine. Okay. So where are you doing this? Perform below steps on source machine. So verify operating system requirements on target machine. You have to check whether all operating system requirements are met or not. So zip zip should be the version of 2.3 or higher. So unzip should be 5.5.2 or higher. Operating system utilities. So there will be some utilities under dollar part like AR, AK, Yemen, Make. So you have to check whether all are existing in your path or not, and you have to make sure your Perl version should be 5.x or not. Okay. So probably everything will be met. So sometimes in case in rare cases, so if something is not met, so it might cause some issues in your target machine. And they're asking us to apply the latest rapid clone patches. So you have to apply these below patches in your machine first. Okay. So these patches are only related to performance. So they will enhance the performance of the rapid clone utility. So they also comes with some kind of bugs. So which are some internal bugs. Okay. So it's so what Oracle suggests is so you go ahead and apply these patches. So if you are going with cloning using rapid,
Santosh, I have a question.
yes,
See, this rapid clone is a Perl script, right?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
So what does it mean here applying a patch?
The rapid clone is a Perl script. Where does it reside? It resides on edit of bin only, right?
Yeah.
So whenever you are applying patch, where patch will copy the new files to Apple top only, right? So these files will
Okay.
get increased, like the version of the files will get changed. The AD preclone.perl version will get changed. Okay, so let us
Okay.
assume
Okay.
your current ADCFG clone version is 120.21. So if you are going to apply new patch, so let us assume mini pack or family pack, the version of the ADCFG clone.perl is going to increase, which might uh, contain some bug fixes compared to the previous version and all this.
Okay. Okay. So see, in Oracle we use OPatch to apply the patches, right? So what Oracle recommends, always download the latest OPatch from the MOS. So
Yes.
similarly, for the rapid clone, is there any way like that?
No, no, there is no way. You can
Okay.
so that is coming to your O patch, that is like required only for particular set of patches. So for other patches you can go ahead and apply. Okay, until and
Okay.
unless it shows. So here there is no such kind of thing. You can go ahead with the
Okay.
ADCC.
Okay, Sundar. Thanks.
Yeah. The above patches include AD patch, autoconfig patches, and rapid clone patches. Okay. So when we apply AD patch, it will bring latest maintenance tools and utilities to the Oracle applications, which will enhance the performance of the rapid clone. Okay. So if you are applying an AD patch, okay, so it means it is bringing some new tools to the AD top, and which are going to change the performance of the utilities.
Okay. So it's all actually.
Yes,
Okay. AD
these are
patch.
only, this is only one time job. So once if you apply these patches, it's not required to apply all these patches for the next time when you are going to clone. Okay. So first time when you are cloning, you have to apply this. From the second time onward, it's not required. Okay.
Okay.
So
After this, the no patches, Santosh, like,
these
you
are,
know,
see, these I prepared for 12.1.1 version. So for
okay,
12.2.3, they might change. So for all these things, you will get a note in Oracle.
okay, okay, right, got it, Santosh.
Okay. Next, you have to perform the below steps in target machine. Okay. So check for the required RPMs, kernel parameters, and open file descriptors required for 12.1.1. 12.1. Okay. So whenever you are installing your Oracle application, so you will do some necessary prerequisite steps like checking RPMs, checking kernel versions, checking open file descriptors, and all these things, right? So
Yeah.
if you are copying Oracle application from one machine, from the installed from one machine to another machine, so you have to make sure all the prerequisites are met in the target machine also. Means if there is one RPM which you have installed in source machine, then you have to install the RPM in target machine also. If not, your Oracle applications are not going to work well. Okay, are you getting or not?
Yeah, Santosh.
Yeah, this is
It
only
should
one
be the
time job
same.
again. Yes, this is also only
Yeah.
one time job. Next, create required groups, users, and directories to clone. Okay, you have to create groups, users, and required directories to clone. So first, this is in the target machine. Okay, you have to create a group. So are you creating groups, users in source machine or not before installing?
Yeah, we used to do.
Yeah,
We
here
need to
also,
do.
yes, here also you have to do the same. You have to create necessary groups, whatever the group name you want to give, whatever the uh, username you want to give, whatever the directory structure you want to give, you can do it. Okay. So create new users, change permissions, switch to that user, uh, and create a directory structure. Okay. Again, switch to Apple Engineer user, create one directory for app stack and create one more directory for tech stack. So that
So that
the tech stack you
directory
can,
structure may be right. It doesn't matter if I create a different directory structure in the target.
it doesn't matter. You can create whatever you want.
Okay. Okay.
But whatever the directory structure you create, you have to make a note and you have to pass it for ADCFG clone.com.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So next, run AD preclone on DB See, log into database from PuTTY, go to Oracle Home Apps Detail Scripts, Perl AD preclone.perl DB Okay, what it is doing, this will create staging area in Oracle Home Apps Detail. Okay. Next, run preclone on apps So what it is doing, where is Perl AD preclone.perl? It is in inst of admin scripts. Okay. So the Perl AD preclone.perl abstract. So what it is doing, it is creating a stage area under comment of clone. So we can perform these preclone steps parallel, or we can first run preclone on database. These steps are already completed. So you can run either simultaneously, or there is no sequence to run this utility, as we already discussed. Okay. This will only collect the information. Okay. So once the information is collected in the source machine, you have to copy all these things. You have to SCP INST top, you have to SCP Apple top, you have to SCP common top, you have to SCP 1012, you have to SCP 1013 to the target machine. So these are all the target machine or not? These are all the target machines. Next, copy. As of now, you have only copied application tier file system. Next, you have to copy database tier file system. What will be there in database tier file system? One abstract and one text stack. Text stack contains Oracle Home, abstract contains CRD files. So copy them to the destination. So once we finish copying source file system to target machine, then we can start database and application services.
Santosh, I have a question. See, before copying these file system from source to target, so you say that you need to run AAD preclone.pl, okay?
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
So how we can get that? Means we need to download the, because see, I believe it should be in the source. When you install the application, it will be available there, right?
Yes.
So we haven't installed. We are copying from the source to destination. Before that, we need to run the AD preclone.pl.
Yes.
So from where we can take that file?
AD preclone. See, I have given the location also, right? So it will be in inst of admin scripts for your application tab, and it will be in Oracle Home App Suite scripts in your database tab.
Okay, but in the target, that won't be available since we haven't copied from the source.
Till now we haven't copied. We will copy now. See, this is, as of now we have run AD preclone.perl, and then we are copying the source system to target. So once you copy source system to target, you have to configure the destination server by running adcfg clone.perl. So adcfg clone.perl will be available in source. Once you copy from source to target, it will be going to target.
Okay, okay, but this AD preclone.pl, now I got that. Now I have a doubt. I means from where we need to copy that?
Your Oracle application install, by installation it will get. You don't need to download, or you don't need to copy. Your application contain that file.
Okay, okay.
Come on,
Okay,
if
Santosh, I
having
will
any
check.
doubt, you can ask me. What is your
See,
doubt?
actually,
Okay.
see this AD preclone.pl, right?
Okay.
So you told that before copying the required file system from source to the target, okay, it may be application tier or DB tier. So we need to run the AD preclone.pl. From where we need to take this file? Because its target will be just we prepared the server, okay, and
See,
okay,
that
you
is what.
created the user.
So if your tier is apps tier, go to this location and run perl adpclone.perl apps tier. This is adpclone, right?
Okay,
If you want, I can show you.
yeah.
Oracle Home apps util. It is there, right? So just I am running perl adpclone.perl db tier. Apps user password is apps. What it is doing? Bringing database
Yeah,
tier
yeah.
stage.
So this preclone.pl has to be run in the source, na?
Yes. Reclone is what? Before cloning.
Okay.
You have to run it in
Okay. So
source.
it has to be there. Okay. Actually, I got confused. Okay. I thought we want to run on the target. So
No, no,
I
no,
am
no, no.
no, I got no, in the source only we need to run this. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Santosh, I got it now.
Okay. So after running it, you have to copy the files to destination, and then you have to run
Yeah, yeah.
adcfg clone.perl dbtr. Okay, adcfg clone.perl dbtr. So first you have to go to absolutely clone bin, and then you have to run perl adcfg clone.perl dbtr. Okay.
Okay.
So when you run adcfg clone.perl dbtr, it will ask you for couple of questions. You have to answer them accordingly. I will show this when I am running adcfg clone.perl. Okay. So
Santosh, if we miss anything, like if you give anything wrong here, like any UTL
you
file
can you
directory
can
or
rerun the
something
script. You
wrong.
can rerun the script.
Okay, we can rerun the script, right?
Yes, you can rerun the script.
That's good. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So based on the values what we have given. Okay. So based on the values what we have given, so it is going to build new XML file. It is going to clone Oracle Home. Okay. So what we have discussed, like what adcfg clone.perl will do in dbtr, right? So this is what. So it will register the DB Oracle Home. It will recreate control file. It will bring database to mount stage. It will perform recovery. It will bring up database to open stage. It will run auto configure dbtr. It will register Oracle Home in central inventory and start the database and listener. So this part is not here. It is not modifying the file. Okay. So registering Oracle Home
So
will come first only. It is not the not point over here. It will come initial only. First it will build XML file, and then it will register Oracle Home in central inventory, and then it will clone Oracle Home. Cloning Oracle Home is nothing but relinking Oracle Home, and then it will configure Oracle Home. It will bring database to no mount, recreate control file, and then general what how a database starts.
Okay, so automatically it will configure listener.rf file, those files,
Yes,
no? Because it has to
everything it
start
will.
the list.
Yes, everything it will configure. We don't need to modify a single file.
Okay, okay.
Next, configure application tag. So in order to configure application tag, you have to run perl adcfg clone.perl appstr. Okay. So after running this, it will prompt you for some questions. So it is asking you, so what are the services you want to enable? So it is asking you for what? INST top. So these are all general things. See, if you copy your new 10.1 to Oracle Home to new location, you have to pass the new location over here. Here also you have to pass the new location, like that. Are you getting?
Yeah, yes, yes, Santosh.
It is asking for host name. It is asking for SID. It is asking for server node, again host name. It is asking for domain name. It is asking for base directory. It means on which, what is the base directory your Apple top, common top, all these tops contain. User home directory, I mean. And it is asking for 10.1 to Oracle Home. It is asking for the location of 10.13 Oracle Homes. So at this point of time, you have to give the location where you unzip the 10.12 and 10.13 Oracle Home. Okay. So above you have created two directories, right? Above you have created two directories. So
yes.
yes.
We
So
added the clone user to the.
yes. There. So you have to pass the same value over here.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So it is asking for Apple top directory. Where you copy Apple top files, you have to give. Where you copied common top files, you have to give. Where you copied INST top, you have to give. And target system root service. Root services are nothing but like these are the base services for your Apache and Form services. So if you enable root services, so by default this will come as enabled. And batch processing services are nothing but your concurrent manager
Concurrent.
services. So once you provide enabled over here, the concurrent managed services will get enabled in the particular node. So after that, you have to provide the target system other services. Other system services are the general services like admin server, discover server, and all these things. Okay? Those are nowhere come into picture.
What is that port pool?
Port pool I have discussed about 15 minutes. If you are going to install multiple applications in your same machine, so what is the default port number of your Apache? 8000. So if you let us assume you have installed Oracle applications in one node as a
Yeah, yeah.
default port number 8000. So what if you want to install another Oracle applications in the same node? So if you are going to start another Oracle applications with 8000 port, is your Apache server going to start? It will not
No,
start
it
because
will.
it will show the conflict, because on 8000 Apache is already running. So it is not going to start Apache of another application. So that while installing applications itself, it will ask you. So you want to change the default ports to any number. Okay, so if you give
Okay, okay.
port pool to 20, if you give system port pool to 20, all the default port numbers will get increased to 20. Okay,
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot it. I am able to recall that now.
yeah, okay, no problem. So these are the questions it is going to ask. Okay, so once we view these answers, it is going to do these things. It is going to build new XML file. It is going to clone 10.1 to 10.13. It is going to run autocomplete. It is going to start application services.
Application
Okay,
services.
so here uh, every time see, for the first time you are cloning, you can submit these things. For the second time, again you have to submit all these things. It is a, if you give any wrong value, what happens? Again you have to run adcfg clone.pl and all these things, right? To overcome these things,
Yeah.
so there is an option for your ad ad pre-clone or adcfg clone. I'll show you. So perl adcfg clone.pl. If it is a component on DB tier, or these things are the components. So DB tier, database, DB config, DB text stack, add rack node, all these are the components. I will discuss when there is time. So on apps node, apps tier, Apple top, AT text stack are the components. So as of currently we are running for DB tier, right? So DB tier will be our component. And context. So what is this context is nothing but, so you can pass the old context file over here. So you can pass the old context file. So
So you took,
whenever whenever you are passing your old context file, okay, so it won't ask you for any questions. It will take the values, the default values from the context file. Are you getting?
yeah,
See, did it ask me any question? It didn't ask. Why?
it's taking parameters from that file.
Yes, it is taking parameters from context file. See, now it is asking me why I am not passing the context file parameter. Have you seen the difference, Prakash?
Yeah, Santosh. Contextual pass करना है, data context.
See, first time what we are doing, we are running adcfg clone.pl db tier with parameter as context file. Okay, we are passing the context file. So when we are passing the context file, it is only asking for what? Apps password. It is asking for any other.
No, other parameter it is not asking.
It is not asking for any other parameters, isn't it? So second time what I have done, I have removed the context file, right? Here what I have done. Here I am only submitting
We keep
12.
on asking
Yeah, I have removed the context file and I am running adcfg clone. So what it is asking? It is asking for this thing. Again, host
parameter.
name and all parameters. So that is what I am going to tell you
So
here.
suppose
So
if the
if you are
case sensitive, like, DB tier is, T is capital.
it
So we
won't
need to
accept.
give T capital.
It won't accept. That is the
Okay.
reason why you have to, if you are having any queries, so you can execute this. Okay, if you execute this, it will show you the syntax. dbter, add database,
Okay.
Apple top, AppSphere, like that.
That case is case sensitive.
Case
Yes,
sensitive.
case sensitive, or what you can check on this. Okay, you can also give help for help. This is the help. So you can see every information out here. So if you want to configure, see, as of now we are in database, right? Yes. Okay. What are these? So if you want to configure apps tier, it means entire. See what is the meaning of tier? What is the meaning of Apple top or tech stack? There is a difference, right? Tier is nothing but it contains both app stack and tech stack. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tier is nothing but what it contains. It contains Apple app
Both
stack and tech stack.
tech.
Yes. See, if you give apps tier, if you pass parameter as apps tier, it is going to configure Apple top and tech stack. Application tier tech stack. AT means application tier tech stack. If you give DB tier, it is going to configure database plus database tech stack. Apple top. Apple top is nothing but what? What is the Apple top? It only contains the 250 directories and all these things, right? So if you pass Apple top as parameter, then Apple top associated to application context is going to get configured. Okay, it means only for this tech stack, application tech stack, the associated Apple top is going to configure. Next, AT tech stack. If you pass, are you getting why I am giving this?
Yeah. Santosh.
Yeah, here this is the component actually. At this point of time, so you can give all these values. Okay,
Yeah.
I think someone pinged me.
Yeah. No. This. No here. No here.
Okay, so AT tech stack. So AT tech stack, if you give AT tech stack, so application tier tech stack it is going to configure. Oracle homes associated to application context. What is application context related tech stack? AS and forms means Apache server and forms. That is application server and forms. That is nothing but your Apache and forms. Okay. If you are going to
Yeah.
give the parameter as database, so it is going to configure database associated to DB context. Are you getting?
Yeah.
DB tech stack. If you give DB tech stack, Oracle Homes associated to DB context, RDBMS Oracle Home, for example. Add rack node. To add a rack node to a rack cluster. DB config. Same as database except the DB is not recreated. DB must already be up. Okay. So if you are going to database, what is database? It is going to configure only. It means it is going to ADCFG clone. What it is doing? It is configuring, right? It is only it will only configure the database associated. That's it. So are you getting? So if you pass the value
Yeah.
DB config, so it is same as database except that the database is not recreated. So everything is same, which is related to same database, but here the database should not be recreated and the database must already be up. Okay.
AD config clone.
Next, coming to context. So coming to apps node, you can give target application context file. Coming to DB node, you can give DB database context file, and coming to no context, if no context parameter is applied, it prompts for cloned system target values to create the new context file.
Right.
So if you're having any questions, simply execute this.
So when do we just update the DB context, like only database, or when do we do that?
If there are any new files which got copied from source to target,
Okay, so do we
see,
only copy
if you only copy the
shared?
database, yeah, I'm telling you, if you only copy the database, okay, so you haven't copied the, just listen carefully, this is important point. So you only copied the database, you haven't copied the tech stack, okay? Are you getting?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're all, see, let us assume you are already having the source and target machine, both machines you are having, okay? In this is a scenario, just an example. You're having existing applications in both source and target node. So as part of a DB refresh, you are only copying the database. It means you are only moving the PRD files
Database.
in order to copy the data from source to target. Okay. At this point of time, if you're not copying the tech stack, if you're not copying the tech stack related to RDBMS Oracle Home, okay, is it required to reconfigure tech stack?
No.
At this point of time, you can go for DB.
Only database copy.
Yes, either database or DB config. Basically, DB config will be run. Is it clear now?
Yes. Got it. Got it. So is there any option like, while doing copying, is there any option like, we copy only the what you call database?
You can copy. See, there are 5 steps I have shown you to copy, right?
Yeah. So while doing STP, you just need to do the
Yes,
database related.
yes, that's
Okay.
it. That's it.
Got it, Sandesh. Got it.
So for every environment and for every organization, there will be some kind of strategies like what they follow. They will be having some predefined documents, so they will be following the same document. Okay.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Next, coming to hot. So coming to hot, it is same as running like performing pre-health checks, performing pre-clone steps is same. So coming to hot and cold, what is the difference between hot cloning and cold cloning? Only the backup, right? Only the backup method how you take. Okay. So here in cold cloning you have to shut down the database and you'll copy. Here in hot cloning you'll make the, see, these are the steps. You'll check for the archeolog sequence. Excuse me. Minute, guys.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay, Rugesh.
Sorry, guys. Yeah,
Santosh.
yeah,
So hot cloning you are talking.
yeah. So, so copy the source system database file system to destination. So first you have to check the archeolog sequence and then you have to
Mm-hmm.
enable the begin backup mode.
Okay.
After enabling begin backup mode, you just have to SCP the DB files. Apart from
Mm-hmm.
SCPing the DB files, everything is same. Keep the database in end backup mode, perform switch log switch, and then take backup of control file, copy control file to destination, and then copy text stack. So here also same. So but here the thing is, yeah. So here the difference is Perl adcfg clone.perl db text stack. So have you copied? See what is the difference between db text stack and db tear? I will tell you. So as of now, you just have to run Perl adcfg clone.perl db text stack. So DB tech stack will only configure what? Come on.
The database, only the database.
Only the database or only the database Oracle home?
Only database Oracle home.
Exactly. It will only configure the database Oracle home. So once your Oracle home is ready, so you have also copied the DB files, right? So the difference is you have to perform recovery. That's it. The only thing which makes sense for hard cloning, armament cloning, and other cloning, cold cloning is you have to perform recovery. Okay.
You need to do manually or this?
You have to
script
do
will do
manual
that?
recovery. You have to do manual recovery. It cannot do recovery, right?
Oh,
Your ADCFG clone cannot do recovery. So
right.
first,
Yeah.
yes, first you have to run DB tech stack. So what your DB tech stack will do, it will configure the what database tech stack.
Correct.
This will build new XML file and clone Oracle home. So it will start database in no mount stage. It will recreate control by using modified trace file. So we have taken backup of we have taken
Yeah,
backup
control
of,
file.
yes, backup of control, right? With the help of that it will do. So it will perform recovery.
No, Santosh, how it will come to know where this trace file has been kept? It has to recreate control file, right?
We have to do that manually. So we,
Okay.
yes, it will start the database to the no mount stage. So we have to recreate control file by using modified trace file. See, generally people will
Is
not.
it manually?
Yes. Manually we have to. See, you know
Yeah,
how
got
to
it, Santosh.
recreate a
Got
control
it.
file, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Build a backup control file to trace as.
Yes. And after that, perform recovery. You know how to perform recovery. So
Yeah,
yeah,
recorded
after
until.
performing recovery, open the database with reset logs option and go to Oracle Home clone bin and then run perl adcfg clone.perl dbconfig path of XML file. Okay. So what happens if you run dbconfig? It will configure the database. It will change the values if it wherever it is necessary in the at the database level. Okay. So there are, as of now you have done two things. So first, what you have done in cold backup, what you have done, you are copying the entire thing. So in cold backup there is no point and there is no scope of recovery. That is the reason why you are running adcfg clone.perl space db tier. Okay, db tier is nothing but it will configure both tech stack and database. Coming to hot backup. So in hot backup, what you are doing, first you are running db tech stack and then you are running db config. So your db tech stack will configure your Oracle home and then your db config will configure your database. That's it. So
So
after
path of the XML file is context file, na?
XML file is nothing but context file. Yes.
Okay.
After this, your application tier will be same. So apps tier. Okay. adcfg clone.perl apps tier. So there is no difference in your application tier clone. So the above script
Okay.
will run autoconfig and all this. For whatever the type of cloning it is, for cold cloning or hot cloning, for armament cloning, the application step is same.
Okay.
Only one
Only
step. Perl
DB
adcv or clone.perl app tier. That's it. It only differs when it comes to database.
database.
Yes. Coming to coming to R1. See, this is like using active duplication method. So you know what active duplication method is. You don't need to take necessary backups. Backups are not necessary in order to perform active duplication method. So it is your RMN will directly take backup of the existing database and it will try to clone. Okay. So here in this active duplication method, what you are doing, you are just copying 10.1 to 10.13, Apple top, common top, INST top, and all these things. Coming to database, you are only copying text stack. What you are doing, you are only copying text stack.
RDBMS.
Yes, RDBMS text stack. After that, what you are doing, you are configuring the database there. So first, what you are doing, see, as of now, the database is not cloned. Before cloning the database only, you are configuring the text stack. Are you getting?
Right. Yeah. Software we are doing.
Yes,
No,
software you
the
are doing. Yes. So after that, after your database Oracle home is ready, yes, you
then I'll
have to
clone
configure
the
networking between
database.
source and target. you know how to configure networking. Configure listener on source and configure listener on target. Configure TNS on source, which connects to target. Configure TNS on target, which connects to source machine. And we have to check TNS ping is working fine or not. Connectivity is working fine or not. So after that, perform RMN active duplication. So how do you perform RMN active duplication? With the help of RMN, connect to the two machines and then issue database duplication command. So once if it is done, your RMN will exit and recovery manager will get complete. Now, okay, once your database is up, okay, so what you have to do? You have to run perl adcfg clone.perl dbconfig. What it will do? It will configure
configuration files.
Database. That's it. After configuring the database, application related cloning is same. Are you clear? Am I clear?
Yeah, yes, but we will go through that one more time. We got it. What how this works.
Okay.
If it is a cold, it's simple. If it is a hot or RMN, then it's extra steps we need to do.
Yes, first you have to configure the database. You have to recover the database, and then you have to configure the. First you have to configure the DB tech stack. You have to copy the database. I mean, you have to copy the database, or you have to recover the database, and then you have to configure the database. Okay.
Database, right.
Yes. So if you are having any queries, you can just give perl adcfg clone.perl space help.
Yeah, okay.
With the help of that, you can see like some more options, what DB tech stack is doing, what apps tech stack is doing, what DB config is doing, all these things. Okay. Anyhow, we will discuss the same things tomorrow for as a part of revision, and we will continue with the next session. So tomorrow same time is possible for you?